All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take just one company's earnings report and use it to decode the financial pulse of an entire nation. Seriously, we're going to see how one single firm can show us these massive economic shifts happening all across India. So, let's just dive right in.
So, think about this for a second. What does the financial pulse of a nation with 1.4 billion people even look like? It sounds impossibly big, right? Well, sometimes the best way to understand something huge is to zoom in on a key player, someone right at the center of all the action. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Use one company as our window into the bigger economic story of India.
Okay, so before we zoom in on our case study, we've got to set the stage. We need to understand the world they're living in. So let's start with the big picture, the 30,000-foot view, the absolutely massive scale of India's mutual fund industry. And when I say massive, the numbers are just staggering. Just look at this number, 77.8 trillion rupees. To put that in perspective for you, that's over 900 billion US dollars. As of September 2025, that is the total value of all the assets being managed by India's mutual fund industry. You know, this isn't just a market at this point, it's a financial force of nature. And here's the kicker. This huge market isn't just sitting there. It's not static. It's exploding. We're talking about a 16% jump in assets in just a single year. Now, that kind of growth, that's not just a good year. That signals a really fundamental shift in how an entire country thinks about saving and investing its money. Okay, so you've got this booming ocean of investment, right? So, who are the big fish? Let's meet our main character for today, HDFC Asset Management Company, or HDFC AMC as you'll see it. They are, without a doubt, one of the most important players in this whole ecosystem. You know, every company has a mission statement, right? A lot of times it's just corporate speak. But this one is really important for our story. Their vision is global, sure, to be the most respected asset manager in the world. But look at the mission. It's deeply personal and local. To be the wealth creator for every Indian. That right there connects their day-to-day business directly to this huge story of economic hope and aspiration across the entire country. And their scale? It's just immense. We're talking nearly 9 trillion rupees in assets that they manage for 14.5 million individual investors. And get this, with 280 offices all over the country, they service something like 98% of all Indian postal codes. The takeaway here is simple, they are everywhere. All right, so we've seen the big picture. We've met the company. Now it's time to get to the heart of it, their latest quarterly report. This is where we really put their performance under the microscope and see how they're actually doing in this incredibly competitive market. Okay, quick heads up. Before we go any further, you're going to hear me say the term AUM a lot. It just stands for Assets Under Management. It sounds fancy, but it's a really simple idea. It's the total value of all the money a company is managing for its clients. That's it. The bigger the AUM, the bigger their footprint in the market. Simple.
So, the big question, how is HDFC's AUM doing? Well, remember how we just said the entire industry grew by 16%? HDFC's growth was, yep, you guessed it, exactly 16%. Now, that's really important. It shows they aren't some big, slow giant getting left behind. They're a market leader that is successfully keeping pace step for step with a ridiculously fast-growing industry.
So where is all this money actually going? What are they investing in? Well, this gives us a pretty clear answer. Look at that. Almost 2/3 of all their assets are in equity, stocks basically. And that tells us something really important. Their investors are making a clear, strong bet on the future growth of Indian companies, and HDFC is the vehicle they're choosing to make that bet. Okay, so the numbers are great. They tell us what is happening, but they don't tell us why. So who is actually powering this incredible growth engine? Let's take a look at the people behind these trillions of rupees, and I think the answer might surprise you. You know, it's so easy to think of finance as this world of giant corporations and faceless institutions, but that's not the real story here. The real driving force behind this whole boom is the rise of the everyday, individual investor in India. We're talking millions and millions of people. 14.5 million. That is how many unique individual investors HDFC AMC serves. Let me put that in perspective for you. That means that 1 out of every 4 people in the entire country who's invested in mutual funds is an HDFC customer. That's just a massive, massive base of individual trust. So how are all these millions of people investing their money? Well, overwhelmingly, it's through something called a SIP. You've probably heard of it, a systematic investment plan. It's really a beautifully simple idea. You just invest a small, fixed amount of money automatically every single month. It basically turns investing into a habit, like a subscription for building wealth.
And the amount of money flowing in through these small, regular SIPs, it has absolutely exploded. This right here signals a fundamental shift in how wealth is being created. It's not just about big, one-time investments from the super rich anymore. It's about the incredible power of consistent, disciplined saving by millions and millions of everyday people.
So, a practical question. How does a huge company even reach all these individual people? This part is really key. While investing directly online is growing, their single biggest channel is a network of local mutual fund distributors, or MFDs. Think of these as the financial advisors in towns and cities all across the country. They're the ones building relationships, person to person, and helping bring people into the financial markets, often for the very first time.
Now, a company this big with this much reach obviously has an impact that goes way beyond just financial returns. So let's take a quick look at how HDFC sees its role in society, investing with a purpose, looking beyond just the numbers on the balance sheet.
And here's a really great, tangible example of that. It's called the SIP Saheli Initiative. It's all about promoting financial literacy and independence specifically for women. And through programs just like this one, they've reached nearly 1.4 million women, directly connecting their core business of investing to real-world social empowerment. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we've looked at the market, the strategy, the customers, even the purpose. But at the end of the day, this is an earnings report, right? So let's get to the bottom line. After everything we've talked about, did it actually pay off? Was it profitable? And here it is, over 7 billion rupees. That's their profit after tax for just one single quarter. This number right here, this is the financial result of everything we just saw. It's the outcome of their market leadership, their massive distribution network, and most importantly, the trust of millions of individual investors. And this really brings us full circle. Remember that mission statement we started with? To be the wealth creator for every Indian? We started there, and we're ending here. Because the financial success you just saw on that last slide is directly tied to how well they're delivering on that promise. Their growth is, in a way, a direct reflection of the growing wealth of their customers. Ultimately, this whole story of HDFC AMC is really a proxy for something so much bigger. It's the story of a nation that's shifting from a culture of simply saving to a culture of investing. So as millions more everyday people join this incredible wave, the real question isn't just about one company's future. It's about how this financial democratization is going to reshape the future of India itself. Something to think about.